I'm your host, Paul Marshall. Okay, well, today we have another Young Professionals video podcast, and we'll be talking about the importance of getting involved in professional organizations. So we have Claire Fitch, Jacob McDonald, and Kelsey Wooden. So let's go to the video.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. Okay, so today we have our second video podcast. I know we did one before with some young professionals and we decided to bring them back. I guess they're all photogenic. They want to be on camera. It's fine with me. So let's go around the room. What we're going to talk about today is, we really want to encourage AGA young professionals to really get involved in professional organizations like AGA or others. And we wanted to sort of interview the three of you today about several topics related to that. So why don't we just go around the room and everybody will introduce themselves. Why don't we start with Claire?
So my name's Claire Fitch. I currently work as a senior associate at KPMG in the federal audit practice out of Washington, D.C. So I serve on multiple clients like Department of Defense and Department of Homeland Security. I went to Salisbury University and majored in accounting, and then had a minor in information systems and math. So kind of a wide variety there, but I guess that's kind of it about myself.
All right. Yeah, a lot of great achievements already. That's awesome. How about Jacob? Say hello.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. My name is Jake McDonald. Currently work as a manager for Ernst & Young in the consulting practice. Currently serving the U.S. Marshal Service. I'm actually out here in the field today at the Baltimore Courthouse. We work on A123 project.
Okay, welcome. And Kelsey.
Hey, I'm Kelsey Wooden, and I'm from Alabama. I majored in accounting from Faulkner University, and I'm a staff accountant with the Department of Labor in Alabama.
Okay, awesome. Well, welcome everybody. So we're going to go around the room, just kind of give everybody a chance to answer some questions here for our audience. So I wanted to start off just, again, the topic is professional organizations, your involvement, and how this is, how you find this beneficial. So why don't we start, we'll just do kind of Claire, then Jacob, then Kelsey on each of these. But so we'll start with you, Claire, here. So can you tell us a little bit about any professional organizations you currently support, either as a member or on a board, and then just how do you feel this has been beneficial to you?
Yeah, so mainly AGA. I started as kind of the young professionals member, and then that turned into young professionals chair, so organizing events like happy hours, trivia nights, networking with more senior members on the board and just as members in general. And then the past 2 years, I guess, I've served as secretary as well on the board. And then this coming year, I'm going to be serving as president-elect. So I think just kind of over the years, I've been able to network more with individuals outside of like my firm and also kind of hone in on my presenting, talking skills and things like that. One of the things that I'm involved in through KPMG is the BRG, so it's like your business resource group. It's more of like a diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative. So they have groups like Asian Pacific Islander group. They have an African ancestry group, Pride, and all sorts of other kind of organizations that you can join. And you can either join as a member or an ally, but you get to participate in all of their events and really meet other individuals with like minds or learn more about their organization.
Yeah, that's great. And just curious, so you said you're going to be president-elect. I mean, obviously that's a pretty big job to be taken on already. How are you preparing for that? Or are you getting some mentoring, or how do you know, how do you feel you're going to be prepared to take that on?
Yeah, so I think being secretary the past 2 years has really given me, I've attended all the board meetings and kind of communicated with the president-elect and president. So I think it's kind of prepared me, but I've also been reaching out to the upcoming president about like, hey, what did you do as president-elect, or how can I prepare? Because just looking at the role of president, it seems very intimidating. So I was like, am I able to handle this? And she's like, no, definitely. Like, you're qualified, and the whole role of president-elect will like prepare you for being president. So, um,
That's awesome.
hopefully I'm in good hands here, but
Yeah. I mean, the best way to learn is just to do it, right? Got to jump in there. So yeah,
yeah.
congrats on that. That's really awesome. So Jacob, tell us about yourself. How about your or participation? What have you been up to with the organizations?
Of course, I'd be happy to. So I'm the membership chair of the Northern Virginia chapter. Served in the role for quite a while now. And I got to agree with Claire on a lot of those networking items. You know, I'm a SME at Mail Merge and, you know, event planning now because of my role at AGA. And I think a leadership role like AGA is a great opportunity because it prepares you for those real world experiences, right? You kind of get to practice a little bit before you go out into to the work environment and do those types of things. So I also think it's a differentiator. So it kind of sets you apart from your peers kind of early on, which is nice. You get that leadership role kind of early on. So.
Yeah, it's great practice for leadership roles. You know, it's like a nice lower pressure environment, right? I think to some degree.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, not if you're going to be the president like Claire, but you know, a little bit lower pressure.
Yeah, right? she's jumping into the big pool there.
But you know, we do all kinds of events for the members. We do surveys for the members. We do an annual ski snowboarding trip. Actually, it's local to Nova, so we go to Liberty Mountain typically. But you know, we try to do a lot of fun things for the membership. And honestly, coming out of COVID, it was kind of tough, but we're kind of back up and running at full speed now. So
great. Yeah, we're all happy to be doing that as well. So Kelsey, tell us what's going on in Alabama there.
Yeah, so I think it was about a year after I joined AGA, I got on the CGFM committee, and that really helped to kind of hear what worked for other people as far as their studying and hear about their experiences with taking the test. And so I was on that committee for a year, and then I became the financial secretary, which was last year, and I'm going to be doing that role again this coming year. And that's just helped me kind of get to know the board more and see what all roles they do.
So you think you'd like to take on more board duties in the future, just kind of go down the line there? What are you thinking?
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe so.
Yeah, it's nice. That's kind of what I did. I started off early careers, then did some membership stuff, and now I'm sponsorships. I think it's kind of nice to just move around, learn different things.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I'll be president one day.
Roles, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. So let's jump into, you know, credentials. I think that's a pretty important thing. You know, I have my CPA, CGFM, all kinds of fun stuff. I guess once I graduated, I wanted things to keep me busy, so that was one thing I did. But how about yourselves? You know, tell us if you have any credentials, if you know which ones and which ones you might like to get, and why you think that's important. So I'll mix it up. Let's start with Jacob this time.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah, so I'm a CGFM. You know, and I think the CGFM has a lot of great knowledge that you can actually apply on the job. You know, when I thought about a certification, there was no question I wanted to get the CGFM. It directly applies to what I do in the government environment as a consultant. And honestly, you can get some good amount of CPEs preparing for it as well. So that's a plus, it's a little bonus. And, you know, at a place like EY, you know, you kind of need a certification to kind of move up. And I thought CGFM was the perfect one for me.
Yeah. And did you feel like, I mean, the test is not super easy. You feel like it really does test your knowledge of what you do every day on the job?
It really does. Especially for me, I've kind of worked in external audit and internal audit my whole career. So exam 3, you know, that directly related to what I do. You know, and the chapter 1, the first test, I mean, get a little bit of knowledge and background about the United States and just general government environment is pretty good to know as well. You know, and The harder one is the second one, but it's definitely doable. So for anybody out there who's struggling with that one, just keep trying. It's definitely doable.
That's right. Well, actually, how about Kelsey? I know you were talking about this a little bit yourself.
Yeah, so I did get my CGFM. I actually just passed the last one this year. And I was actually thinking about the CPA back when I was in college, but then I got to thinking and I wanted really to go into state government. So the CGFM just seemed like the right thing to get. And hopefully it's going to help with promotions and moving up. And I feel like I did learn a good bit studying from it. There were some things I remembered from college when I was studying, but a lot of new stuff that I did learn.
Yeah, and I got my CPA, but it was way after I graduated. I wasn't even an accounting major, so it was really tough for me. I had to go back and take more courses and study, and that was a really hard test. But I don't know, I felt like a personal accomplishment when I was done. So, anybody wants to get that while you're still, under 50, you might want to do it. It's just like especially if you're an accountant, it's just a great cert to have. And obviously for government, CGFM is one of the best ones to have. That's just my opinion. And then, how about Claire? How about yourself?
So I'm still working on the certifications. I'm actually working on getting my CPA. So like you mentioned, it's a bit of a beast, but I'm using Becker. So I heard that's supposed to be good. And so far it's been very in-depth and the questions are very hard. And supposedly they're supposed to be hard because they make them harder than the exam. But so I'm working on that. I think, like Jacob had said, it really helps to have kind of those certifications behind you to rise up in the firm, Big Four especially. So having your CPA, and hopefully once I get the CPA knocked out, I'll be working on the CGFM as well. So I'm really excited, but trying to kind of hunker down for studying and getting them knocked out.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I definitely recommend that. Get these done while you still have energy to do them, because you'll get really busy in your career and it's just no time. It's too much.
Career and life, relationships, kids.
Exactly. Kids and family, all that stuff. So that's good. Now I'm happy to hear you all have some credentials and are getting some more. So let's talk a little bit about any special programs or any kind of scholarships, if you all have ever taken advantage of any of those, either now or recently or earlier in maybe student life. So I know AGA has some scholarships. Other organizations have some things to kind of encourage you to go to events and become members. How about back to Claire? Have you participated in anything like that?
So I actually had applied for the Young Professionals PDT scholarship this year. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, but I still think it's a great opportunity. AGA helps cover like your conference fees, the hotel, and you get to network with a lot of different people at a new location. So this year it's in Anaheim, California. So it'd be nice to see the West Coast. I know my chapter had also offered afterwards to kind of help with if I applied for the Young Professionals discounted rate for the conference, helping with the cost for the hotel and travel as well. But unfortunately, I had some client work kind of pop up as well. So maybe it worked out that I didn't get the scholarship. But I still think, like you said, there's a lot of great opportunities that AGA gives with scholarships for NLT and PDT. So I think if you're a young professional, you should take advantage of it while you can.
Yeah, and I know a lot of the chapters also provide little mini scholarships or incentives too. So something for you guys to think about when you're president over there. And then how about Kelsey? Have you participated in any of these programs?
I have not either, but like you and Claire said, I think it's a good opportunity, whoever wants to take advantage of it, and it certainly can't hurt anything by applying for it. So I would encourage people to apply and just see what your chances are.
Absolutely. Take a nice trip somewhere around the country. And how about you, Jacob?
Yeah, so I've been to the NLT, the National Leadership Training. That's typically held up in Baltimore, where I'm at, right? I don't know if they rotate that one. That one's great because you get exposure to a lot of other leaders within AGA, right? But also to AGA National. So you kind of work pretty closely with them in different training sessions, brainstorming sessions. So that's a really great event. If you get invited to that, definitely go. I've been to the PDT. I've actually been a few times now, and I actually did fortunately get the discounted rate for the, I think it was a 30 under 50, or I don't know if it was the scholarship, but it was a program that AGA is running this year. Super grateful for them, doing all these types of events to kind of encourage people to go. So I will be in Anaheim this coming July, and really looking forward to it. I got to say, the PDT is probably the best conference or event that I've been to. It really allows you to not only network, but to really get fully immersed in AGA's culture and see what the pinnacle of that is. It's really amazing. I mean, they have such great events every day, all throughout the day. Great food. They pick great venues. Great speakers. So it's kind of like a fancy AGA party. But you also do get to network and do get to obtain those CPEs that you need. So it's kind of best of both worlds.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It.
Yeah,
definitely worth it. I mean, Paul, do you go to that every year?
I do. Yeah, I love it. I go every year. That's something I look forward to all the time. And actually, my company MIL, we have that party every year, like MIL party. It's like a cigar party, and I don't know. It's just, and we've always done it every year. And yeah, I think a lot of folks like to go to it. It's on Tuesday night, so I'm making a plug.
I may have been to the MIL cigar party or whatever that is.
I think everybody has, which is, and there's, you don't have to smoke, of course, if they got drinks and food and just hanging out. So but it's like, we've done that for many years now. So I love, the PDT is a lot of fun. And you learn stuff too,
I'd say, even if you pay out of pocket, it's probably worth going at least once. Really is.
For sure. Well, awesome. I'm glad you're going. That's good to hear. And definitely, if anybody can go, it is one of the best ones I've been to. I've been to other, conferences for other organizations. Definitely not as fun. I'll tell you that. Okay, we'll have a couple questions more for you all. Our time is flying already, but did want to talk about, as far as some of the networking you do when you're attending meetings or PDTs, whatever it may be. Is there any particular benefit you've seen for that, or what's an example of the kind of benefits you've received from it? Maybe I'll go to Kelsey here, see what you think.
Yeah, so like you said, I think one of the biggest benefits is just meeting people, networking. I've met so many people through AGA that I wouldn't have otherwise. And what's interesting is to hear about other people's experiences in their jobs and how things work with their agencies, and maybe how you can incorporate something in your own agency. So just the networking I see is the biggest advantage.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's, networking for business or whatever reasons, but also, there's a lot of sharing of good ideas. And, I'll call people up from a state or from a federal agency just to get, hey, I heard you guys talking about this, that you do this particular thing or use this software or whatever, just to get information, just to share. It's not always like, a lot of us are in private industry, but to me, it's not about sales. It's just about learning things from other people. So I totally agree with that. And then how about Jacob? What would give us some of your experience here?
I mean, the networking has been amazing. I've met some amazing people through AGA, the events, the PDT, things like that. Also, just the committee that I serve on. I view my committee members as friends. We hang out outside of AGA stuff. We'll hang out. We'll get hot pot or Korean barbecue or whatever it may be. But we see each other as friends, and I think I've really developed not just these kind of work-related type relationships through AGA, but also just friendships too. So I'm super grateful for that.
Yeah, same here. For absolutely. I mean, this is what we do. This is our career, right? So we make friends with AGA folks, and I totally agree with that. It makes it fun.
Right.
And then how about you, Claire? What do you think?
I'm just listening to the Northern Virginia chapter with hot pots and
Hey,
skiing
we
and
do the fun
snowboarding.
events, you know, we got to do some field testing for the potential events, right, for the members. So
I just got to travel a little further south and I'll be there. um,
co-chapter, we'll do co-chapter.
yeah, I think networking is a definite positive. Not like I said, you get to meet people outside of your firm, get to meet people that work within the agencies, and I think I know our chapter has put on some really great education, uh, CPE learnings that we've been able to kind of extend out to our clients at the agencies and say like, hey, there's an SFAS 54 leases training coming up. Like, I know that's really big and upcoming. Like, why don't you attend too and hear about some of the things? So I think it's been able to show that our clients and our agencies that we really care and we're trying to learn as well to help out and see different ways to kind of improve their um, current processes.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that. I actually have a podcast coming up later with SFAS 59, which is the land. So
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another thing. I just like to. I mean, in general, AGA is a nice mix of just friendships, networking, but also learning about topics that we have to deal with in our day-to-day job, as I said before. So I'm happy you all are taking advantage of all the different levels of that. So, so then my last question for today is kind of the, what do you want to be when you grow up kind of question, I guess. But we don't have to go too far out. But I was just curious, what are your goals for the next 3 to 5 years? Again, keeping in mind with AGA or other, professional organizations can help you get there, or just what your own personal ambitions. I think it'd be fun for us to hear. So why don't we go right back to Claire and you can kind of give us your final thoughts there.
Yeah, so I think like I mentioned before, my goal is to knock out the CPA exam. I think that's kind of number one on my radar right now. But then also hopefully going for the CGFM, and I don't know, you guys have really sold me on the PDT conference, so maybe in the future I'll aim to go to one of those, hopefully in a nice sunny place like Anaheim as well. But yeah, I think just kind of furthering my knowledge, and then I'm looking forward to serving as the president for Montgomery PG County, but that's coming up sooner rather than later.
Oh yeah, sounds like you're gonna be pretty busy the next 2-3 years. Well, great. And how about let's talk to Kelsey again. What are some of your goals for yourself?
So as far as my job, the next step for me would be a senior accountant. So I'm hoping to work towards that. And I hope that hopefully having that CGFM will kind of put me ahead of some others who may not have certifications. So hopefully that'll happen pretty soon. And as far as our local chapter, hopefully just increasing membership, getting more people involved. Because whenever I started at Department of Labor, I had never heard of AGA, and my supervisor told me about it and got me involved. So I hope that we can just introduce it to more people and keep growing membership.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, how big is your chapter down there? Do you know?
I think that it's a few hundred.
Okay.
But we have a good bit of members, but hopefully getting more people involved, we can get that accomplished.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, just career progression, keep moving forward, differentiate yourself. And yeah, I definitely think being involved in the organization just keeps, opening up opportunities. So that's awesome. All right, Jacob. Well, you're the last one standing here. What do you got for us the next 3 to 5 years? What you gonna do for us?
I mean, I gotta also say I'd like to get promoted, obviously, right, as well. That's always a good thing. But for AGA, I'd like to see a little bit more participation from the members. I mean, we're trying to do these surveys and really execute things that people want to go to, right? So I'd like to see a little bit more participation from our members. Obviously, grow the membership base, more young professional involvement, and just stay in the role here or as needed, switch to a different role in the chapter. So happy to serve and volunteer.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Well, it's been quick, but I did enjoy speaking with you all about your involvement in these organizations, obviously AGA, and I'm happy to hear you all are doing very well, and hope to see you as you progress. See you at the PDT, see you around DC if you're around here, but thanks again for participating, and take care, everybody.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in. AGACGFM.org is where you go. Check us out. Check out the podcasts. Check out everything else going on. And at this point, it's probably the PDT's come and gone, so hopefully you made it this year. And we'll be looking forward to the next one. But until next time, this is your host, Paul Marshall, signing off for Accountability Talks with AGA.